Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. I'm your host, Jesse Showalter, and we have a fun stream for you today. We got people jumping in the chat. Sam Peterson is moderating, Rosie Way, Quinn, Annie Yang, Ruth W. Everybody's jumping in the chat. If you're watching it on YouTube, come on over to Behance. Join us here, because that's the chat we're actually looking at. I'm looking at Uriel's messages right now. People jumping in because we are doing the XD Daily Creative Challenge. It's 9 challenges to sharpen your skills in UI and UX design using Adobe XD. You can join by going over to behance.net/challenge/XD, hit that big blue button, sign up for that community chat over on Discord, scroll down and get your starting file. And at the end of the show, we're going to be taking a look at submissions from yesterday. Whether you're watching it live or you're watching part of the Creative Encore, the replay version of this, it's always a good thing to sign in to your Discord server and get some feedback. That's how we learn and grow. But today, challenge number 4, we're going to be doing some animated, a dark interface where we do a routine tracker. We're going to be doing some animated charts, some interactive stuff, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll be doing a little bit of glass, some of that glass morphism. It's going to be a ton of fun. So we're also going to be investigating component states and how we can use those to start creating kind of a little mini design system in our designs. Got some inspiration for you. As always, your resource booklet to flip through using the component instances and a bunch of tips down below. Got a starting artboard. And on our artboard, I already have some dark styles kind of laid out. You have like a really dark background, and we have like kind of like this header background with a kind of a date lock up there. It has the day of the week, and then we're doing like a little mini progress bar underneath. So you can see we have 2 layers, so we can kind of animate and do some different stuff on how the progress is. All right, so that'd be a good thing. And we also have some elements down here, some icons and some little date pickers. Why don't we get started? I'm going to, first things first, I'm going to get these 2 icons out of the way because I'm thinking they're going to be something else. So let's bring these down to the bottom right hand corner. If I could grab one of them. Yikes. Oh, also at the very bottom we have this little pull tab. It's kind of very, very common on iOS. So actually I'm going to take this from our pinkish color, which, do we have that in our colors? Nope. Let's start building it. Got to make that design system. Let's add that white in there too. Why not? And just put this down at the bottom right. I'm thinking later on we're going to tap this little thing, hit stats, and see the stats kind of overlay come up. And then from there, we'll be able to click around and animate a few things. Hey, right here, this would be a great place to add maybe like a new routine. So we'll do a text button down there in a second. Why don't we duplicate this text and make a really quick button that just says add new routine. Okay. Boom, 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 just like that. It's right align text. I don't know why it's right align. Let's make it left align. Okay, we're going to use our color, our kind of peach color. Why don't we pump this up? We're using Forma DJR Deck as our text today. Has a lot of different weights. Always when you're selecting your typography for project, make sure it has a lot of weights. That way you can experiment. I'm actually going to experiment with character spacing right now, so the space in between the individual letters. And let's shrink this guy down. Doesn't need to be so big. Bring these together, hit Command K, make a component out of it. Boom. We have a little call to action button at the bottom. We can add a new routine. Let's move these things out of the way. Let's make a piece of glass, shall we? I'm going to hit R for rectangle, and I'm going to stretch out a little rectangle right there. Let's go ahead and curve the edges, make it pretty soft, nice and soft. And now we're going to learn the trick to doing a little bit of glass morphism. Here's how we're going to do it. We're going to go a linear gradient inside, and we're going to go white to white. And we're going to do a diagonal gradient. I know it's not really looking like a gradient at all, is it? But the top left-hand corner, we're going to bring the opacity of that down to something like 10. And the bottom right-hand corner, we're going to bring the opacity to something down like 50, okay? And a little tip for your gradients, if you want really smooth gradients, don't stop inside the shape, right? Go beyond the shape. And then you'll make sure that you get smooth gradation all the way to the edges. Just a little pro tip for you when it comes to your gradients. All right, next thing, we're going to select that gradiated shape that we made, and we're going to add not background blur, but object. Oh, excuse me, we are going to add background blur, not object blur. Let's take this up to be something like 50, like all the way up, and we can affect the darkness or the lightness of this, like so. And then we can, yeah, we're just messing with some of these gauges right here. Now you're not gonna really see much of anything, but we do wanna mess with the brightness and then the transparency. There's our little bit of glass look and feel, and you can play with this. Lightness and darkness, we like something like that. Just has a little bit of shimmer in there, a little bit of shine, something like that. Okay, now the last thing we're kind of missing is a border. Let's put a white border on it. Bring the opacity down a little bit. You're just going to get a little bit of that blurred edge, or excuse me, glare on the edges, and that's going to be our glass, our kind of glass card that we'll be using today. Now, it would be cool, like, you know, glass morphism's fun when you have stuff behind it, but not when there's nothing behind it. So why don't we add a few things? I'm just gonna hit E for ellipse and turn the border off, fill this with maybe my color, and then this time we are gonna do an object blur. Take the object blur all the way up. Let's put this behind and bring the opacity down a little bit. Just like that, so it has something to kind of blur over. That could be fun. Okay. Now let's build the rest of our cards. I'm going to bring this little piece up here that's ooh, we want all these to be in front though. So let's Command Y and make sure we're going over to our layers. Let's get everything above our card. We'll add our workout piece there. How often do we want to do this workout? Let's say every day. And then we can bring our little date pickers inside. These are little bubbles we'll be able to tap on and select. Okay, now these are great. We have these little date bubbles right here. I spelled bubble wrong. Let me go back and fix that. And I want to create a set of component instances out of this. So I'm going to first turn it into a component just like that. Now you can see it inside of our components list. We could drag, ooh, that's the wrong one. We could drag out more date bubbles just like so. But we want this little date bubble deal to have some more instances to it because we need like an active state, a deactivated state, a checked state. I don't know. We need a couple variations. So why don't we first create an inactive state? Like, for instance, let's say this was like 3 days a week that we want to accomplish this goal or this routine of ours. Well, then we would want some of these to be inactive, like the days we're not planning, right? So let's go ahead. We have default. Let's do a new state. We'll call this one inactive. Okay. And what do we want to do with our inactive state? I'm going to zoom in. And I'm just going to take the border off and do kind of like a dark neutralized gray color, something like that. Pretty good. And then let's take our text actually inside if we could. Where's this guy? Boom. Bring everything down below. Good. Okay. So far, so good. Let's get our text and just turn the opacity down on it. Cool, that could be our inactive state. That works fine for me. I don't know about for you. And then let's do one more. Let's do maybe like an outline state, right? I don't know quite what it would mean for us yet. Now, it is important to note, actually, before I do that, that whatever state that you have selected and you press plus, you're going to build off of the style of that state. So let's build off of this one and call this outlined. That's not how you spell outline. Boy, I have clumsy fingers while typing today. Let's take the fill of this, and you know what? Let's lock this thing in the background so I don't mess with it anymore. There we go. Let's take the fill of this out, just like that. That works perfectly. That's all we needed. Okay, so now we have a couple of states. We have outlined, we have inactive, and we have the default. With that being said, let's just really quick, Command or Control R, repeat grid, and do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday on there. We can spread those out however we see fit. And then if you'd like to, I'm going to ungroup it from the grid. And then let's just choose the different states. So let's go inactive for that one, inactive for that one, inactive for that one, inactive, and then why don't we take one of these and make it an outline, something like that. Now we just got to change the days, like, right, like Tuesday, Wednesday. What's the abbreviation for Thursday? THR? That says the. There's a THU. It's THU. Oh my goodness, I always forget things like that. Friday. Let's go Saturday and Sunday, something like that. And we could then change all these dates, right? 22, 23, 24. Boy, this is the real fun stuff, isn't it? Where you just kind of input a bunch of dates on your live stream, but we got to do it. It's got to be done. Okay, so now we have kind of a card, and I think that card works for us. I tell you what, let's do something really, really fun. I have a little app on my MacBook Pro that allows me to put emojis in really easy. So why don't we put workout like that in an emoji form, group that whole thing together. Let's call this a routine card. Ooh, double click, let's try it again. Routine card, and let's make a component out of it. Boom, just like that. Now we can, ooh, watch out now. Boom, 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 almost there. Here we go. Let's get our selection tool there. What did I just do? Goodness me, I messed up big time. All right, here we go. Yikes, you ever just have one of those clumsy days? I'm having one of those clumsy days. Let's make it a component again. We'll just call this card for short, and then why don't we duplicate and have a couple of different routines we're trying to add here. Something like that. Let's move our button down. How much spacing do we want? Maybe something like 16 pixels in between. Good, we could do that. And getting there. All right, now all we got to do now is just change some of the titles for these. Like, we don't want all of them to say workout. This one could say read, and this one could say like drink water. There we go. Thank you, spell check. All right, so, and we could mix and match all the dates and stuff, but that's not really what we're caring about today. We want to get to animating some charts, don't we? So let's do one thing really quick, because that's going to bug me. Let's just go water. Ooh, there's a little water spigot thing. That's cool. Okay, so far so good. Why don't we just really quickly, and we won't even fill in the dates because we don't got time. We'll just do our dates up here like this. Spread them across, and I'll tell you what, why don't we take a couple of these and duplicate multiple at the same time like that. And I'm going to grab all of them, and I'm going to put them in a horizontal scroll group like that. Now when we press play on our prototype, we'd be able to scroll through and see the progress there, and we'd be able to see the cards. I tell you, before we get to our chart, because we're making good time, why don't we do a little drag gesture so we could like maybe rearrange the priority of these cards. So we'll call this routine 1, and we'll drag a gesture over here, and we'll call this, excuse me, drag a new artboard over there. Call that routine 2, and why don't we just, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put these in a group, just like so, and I'm going to put them in a stack. What does a stack allow me to do? Move things around without having to constantly be worrying about the spacing. So stacks are really, really nice for that. So why don't we copy this and bring it over into our new card? All right, and they're the same name, right? So we're going to call this cards. We're going to call this cards, and I do want to keep them the same place in the layer stack. Up here in my layer stack, you want to make sure that things aren't mixing up in the order, because that's going to be hard to prototype back and forth for XD then. All right, so what do we want to do? Well, in this stack, we just want to put reading above working out, right? And then all we have to do is go over to prototype mode, hit workout, and drag workout down over to this one. And we'll say, hey, on drag of that card, we want to auto animate to routine, and we want no easing. And let's do the same thing going back the other way. Should get the same prototype. We'll put our little house right there. Press play. We should be able to drag. Oh, maybe not. Maybe they can't be in the stacks, perhaps. Let's see. Let's get them out of this stack, shall we? Cards. And let's see. Can you not drag in a stack? We'll find out right now. I thought you could, but maybe you can't. Or maybe I'm doing something really, really wrong. Let's spread these out and see what's going on here. Okay. Boop, 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 boom. Okay, I think I'm going to just really quickly ungroup the components and see. Yep. I think I probably made some sort of mistake along the line, like with the components. That's probably what I did. So let's go back and just group that together, and group that together. All right, we'll call this 1, we'll call this 2, we'll call this 3, and we're having a little problem with that guy where somehow we lost our text and our things inside, but that's all better now. Let's try that again. We're gonna duplicate these over to our other artboard. We're gonna do the same thing and hope that we can get it right. All right, so on drag, do the whole thing. On drag, do the whole thing. Boom, and it's not happening. My prototyping, losing it today. All right, well, that's okay. We'll come back. We'll try to figure out. If you know what I'm doing wrong inside my prototype, let me know. And we'll fix it up, I promise. That kind of day. All right. Well, here's the next thing we want to design then. We want to really quickly design ourselves a little bit of an animated chart. So I'm thinking, let's do an artboard, same width as the current artboard, and drag this up to the top. That's a rectangle, excuse me. And then we want it to be an artboard, not a rectangle. So let's draw an artboard like that. Get rid of that rectangle. And then let's go all the way to the top with it like so. We don't need it to have a fill, but we'll take that off in a second. Now we are going to draw a rectangle inside, just like this. And I'll tell you what, let's round the edges at the top. I'm going to hold down the Option key, and that's going to allow me to just round one corner at a time. All right, so let's do something like 30 pixels, 0, and 0. That's top left, right, bottom left. And then we'll take the border off of this thing and we'll fill it with kind of like a little bit of a lighter gray, so we get a little contrast here. And why don't we take something like our little date picker thing and use it a little bit just to speed things up. So I'm going to get rid of this, keep all the elements and get them out of there. And let's see. I'm going to take my little charts, my little lines. Let's twist those around just like that. Spread them out. And then let's go down like a bar graph. A little line chart we got going on there, okay? Let's make them a little bit bigger. We can go a little chunkier on those, can't we? Absolutely. Let's take just the border radius down a little bit. I'll stretch these all the way down. And then let's take that one just like that. We're going to line up everything at the top. Let's say that's something like Tuesday. And maybe we'll put the days down here at the bottom and we'll leave some options up at the top. Okay, with that being done, why don't we bring this whole thing together, make a component out of it, and then we can duplicate and then change some values here. Now you'd want these each to say like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but we're just going to drag a couple of these out so we can get some quick animated charts and stats here, okay? So I'm gonna grab this one and put it all the way at the end. What are we, about 35 from the end? Okay, good. And we're about 35 from the end there. I'm gonna grab all these and I'm just gonna evenly distribute them. That looks a little bit nicer. And then why don't we grab all of them and just bring them down a little bit like that and make some room. We'll get those out of the way. And I'm gonna go back and find some text here, maybe this piece of text, or just reuse text styles. No need to reinvent the wheel, really easy. I'm gonna make this white. And let's do something like workout. Okay, left hand align that. And we'll make this a little bit bigger. We need it to be a little bit more substantial. These are like the different goals, right? Workout, read, and then drink water. Drink water. And we'll make these inactive like so. Perfect. Just lining a few things up. Let's distribute these evenly. Nice, okay. This is gonna become our overlay chart. So when a user clicks on here, we're gonna prototype over to our chart and we're gonna say on tap, we want to do an overlay. Now you're gonna get your little overlay menu that pops up on your artboard. We're able to move this around and put it exactly where we want, just like that. Do we want it to dissolve? Nope, we want it to slide up with a little bit of a snap, and let's do it a little slower than this. How about 0.6 seconds? And let's see if we can get that to work. We'll just press play. And boom, we get a little chart that pops up. Pretty nice, okay? And then what we wanna do really quickly is we're gonna grab all of this and turn it into a component that has multiple states, and we're gonna be able to click back and forth on the states. So let's grab the whole thing in design mode. Yes, and then hit Command K and call this our chart component. Again, we're gonna do our instances. Let's do a new state, and we'll call this read. What are we gonna do? We're going to take this up from 25 and take the other one down to be inactive at 25%. Then we're gonna move all of the all the different values around to get a little bit of animation there, okay? And we'll just do the 2 for right now because we are slowly but surely running out of time. Let's prototype this thing. Come back here. All right, to the default state. We're gonna say, hey, when we tap on that, we want to transition to a different destination, which will be our red state, right? And now let's select it again on red. When we tap workout, we want to transition, or actually we could do auto animate to the default state. Okay, so you can actually, yeah, we want them to auto animate, not just transition. Okay, so let's do this one more time. Auto animate, pretty good. And here, auto animate, pretty good. Okay, so now we should be able to bring up our chart just like so, and we should be able to click back and forth between the 2, and we get some nice snappy animations. You can slow them down, speed them up, and again, this is an overlay, so when we click off of our overlay, whoop, it goes right down. It's a little bit busy, so I'm going to move it out of the way so we can see that interaction again. We have some horizontal scroll here at the top. We were trying to get some drag in our cards, but we couldn't do that. And now we're going to bring up our menu, and we can see our stats as we click to each one of our goals. You can have lots of fun with this. I would love to see, especially for those who are watching the creative replay, you could take this to the next level even and create, maybe flatten this edge out right here. Make this horizontally scrollable so you can scroll through all of your different goals, tap on them, and see everything change. Another great fun thing you could do if you want to take it to the next level is get this drag gesture to work, and then as you select elements, actually see the progress, maybe a progress bar in here, or see the progress bar on the current day up top actually change as you fill in or remove progress. That would be a fun little thing to do as well. Let's jump over and take a look at a couple of submissions from yesterday's challenge. This first one is by Nick Brown. This was our headphones parallax animation challenge. And so we're gonna click right here in Discord. Beautiful animation. Look at the, ooh, I like the scattered version and the colors. This is really good. See how elements are moving up and down? We got like a 4th, possibly even a 5th panel here. Beautiful. I just want to watch that one more time. Can we start over? It's so good. Super smooth typography and all the elements moving, expanding, right? I feel like we're getting lots of fun versions of this parallax, and this technique just worked out great. Good job, Nick Brown. That was amazing. Let's go to another one. This is by Anubhav Raj, and this is an iPhone landing page. We just get the design here. We don't get the interaction, but you know, we see where you're going. We see where you're going with it. Maybe I'd love to see would have loved to have seen the prototype of this to see the whole thing come together, but let me know how it all comes together. Maybe post that up when you're all done working on it. This one is absolutely beautiful. We get a time transition. Check this out. And it just kind of, everything kind of moves in. The lighting is real nice. I like it. Let's go. We're going to press down on our keyboard, or should we press down right here? Yep, let's press down to next. Nice. You're getting growth. Ooh, we're doing a little bit of shrinking, some little bounding effect that's happening there, right? A little bounce, but I like that. So you get some size difference too as things goes up. So you can use scale, use direction, use like proximity and location, all of those things. This is a really beautiful lock with the shapes, colors really nice in this. And the animations are smooth and soft and subtle. It's like just real buttery and nice. And we got one more panel to look at. Okay, all the way down to like a footer. I'm not so sure about the bounce effect. It's a little bit slow for me. That I don't think we need that. I think you can go ease in, ease out, or maybe just snap with that little extra poof of animation before you go. Not the biggest fan of it, but I am a big fan of this design aesthetic and everything you've done here. Here's another one. This one is by Ilham Anurag. I tried to say that. I probably didn't do well. I apologize. Really beautiful design. Really nice stuff. Here's the prototype. Let's see the whole thing in action. Nice, things moving out, and oh, I love it. It's so nice. It looks great. These are still my favorite thing, just seeing those things kind of bow out. I was playing with after I was done yesterday, and you could add some 3D transforms to it as they're coming in and out. Oh, we even have the light and dark version of this. Oh, extra credit. Watch out now. That's amazing. Let's look at, and this is the one we already saw. Well, you know what? That is perfect timing because we are all done for the day. Man, oh man, I had lots of fun. This is a really good challenge. I cannot wait to see, especially those of you doing the creative replay. If you're watching this for the 2 weeks after the stream or the challenge is over, you still have time. Put that work in, hone those skills, and today just do a little bit of work on some animating charts. They could be pie charts, graph charts, line charts, bar charts, but I want to see some charts in the Discord and on Behance. Make sure you use the hashtag XD Daily Challenge. We'll find some of your stuff on Behance tomorrow. We'll see you in the same place, same time here on the Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. Stick around. A lot more fun content coming up on Adobe Live. We'll see you next time.